What kind of dark and mysterious force would see fit to break up the Arrow clan? And will Oliver Queen and his family be able to overcome its spread so thin? Well, let's hop into the pages of Green Arrow issue number 3 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we rejoin the book, Green Arrow and Lian are still somewhere out in space. Though not actually the same planet as they were before. In fact, Lian notes that Ollie seems to know his way around this place pretty good, and that's because, well, as we soon discover, this is actually the planet that currently houses the Legion of Superheroes. Yes, that's right, when Ollie and Lian were teleported back in issue 1, they weren't just sent out into space, they were sent through space and time. And as we soon discover, they're not the only ones either. It seems that Connor Hawke, Ollie's wayward, long-lost son, has actually been here for a few months now, which is apparently just long enough to be fully adopted by the Legion of Superheroes and even get his own special Legion flight ring, meaning for once Connor Hawke is actually living up to the Hawk part of his name. Also, if you follow the greater DC continuity, then you'll know that this is actually the first time Ollie and Connor have seen each other face to face since Connor's big return over in the Robin book. And much like Lian reuniting with Roy, you think it might be a little awkward, it might be a little tense, but no, Ollie embraces his son. He says that he's missed him and that this isn't the first time he found him when he was at his most in need. And hey, speaking of Roy, where is Arsenal right now? Well, him and Black Canary are still duking it out with Peacemaker and Peace Wrecker, the two new personal attack dogs of Amanda Waller. They were about to finally get some answers about what exactly is going on right now from Count Vertigo, longtime Green Arrow family enemy, before these two came on in and wrecked everything. Vertigo, snake in the grass that he is, actually tries to play upon all of the chaos right now by using his powers on both groups. This ends up being a very short-lived coup, as Dinah proves that even if you can manipulate someone's inner ear, it's kind of hard to do so when your own are ringing from a sonic scream. It's here that the lovable doofus side of Peacemaker, a la the HBO Max TV show, actually shows itself. Chris says that maybe instead of fighting each other black and blue all day, they can solve their problems here with a little shooting contest. After all, Arsenal is supposed to be one of the best shots in the DC universe, so why don't we have the ultimate showdown between bullets and bows? If Roy wins, and he does ultimately end up winning, he gets 7 minutes in heaven with Count Vertigo to ask him whatever the hell he wants. Peace Wrecker thinks that Chris is acting pretty stupid right now, though mostly she just hopes she won't have to explain any of this to Waller when she comes back. And speaking of Waller, that's who Vertigo mostly speaks about, saying that she's planning something big, something bigger than just the Green Arrow family, that she's collecting again, whatever that means. And that once she's done, it's going to spell bad news for everybody everywhere. Now, back in the Legion future, Brainiac 5, or whichever Brainiac we're dealing with here, actually manages to run some tests on Ollie, Lian, and Connor, and he's come to some conclusions. Apparently, the device that keeps teleporting them all across time and space is indeed embedded in their heads, very much like what Waller does with her subdermal explosives. Brainy could try and go inside their heads and operate, but he fears that doing so would merely just cause the device to activate, which would in doing so put the heroes back to square one, as they have no idea where or even when they could be teleported to next. Lian, as we discover, has actually been on the receiving end of this whole teleportation thing more times than anyone else. In a flashback, we learned she had actively tried to reunite with her father and the Arrow family numerous times over the years, but every time she got too close to her father or someone else, she would just end up getting teleported. So much time went by, everyone just assumed that she was dead, and she was basically forced to carve out a new life for herself in Alleytown alongside Catwoman. The only other real clue that Green Arrow and the rest of our heroes have to go on is that strange teleportation chamber that Ollie had destroyed all the way back at the end of issue 1. It seems that Connor had actually been brought here in one, but as we soon discover, they're more than just simple devices. They also carry with them a message from an elderly Oliver Queen recorded sometime in the future. This message would seem to be a message of doom. We see a much older Ollie say at some point there is a great calamity that is caused by the Arrow family, and that the only way he could go about stopping it is cutting some deals with some very nasty people so he could travel back to the past and make it so that they could never stay together for long. Old Man Ollie also seeks to imply that this great calamity may have something to do with his original stranding on the island all those years ago, and that maybe he should never have left. This, of course, all probably explains why present-day Ollie destroyed the machine in such anger at the end of the first issue, as he's still coming to terms with this dark secret that he's learned. Lian, though, thinks the thing is absolute bunk and that Ollie shouldn't listen to his older, more cynical self. They're finally back together now, and that if she's willing to fight tooth and nail for them to all be a family again, then Ollie should too. Before Ollie can really truly take these words to heart, though, the Legion planet ends up coming under attack by green energy constructs, and Green Arrow himself ends up getting snatched up in a bubble. At first, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, is the Emerald Empress back, one of the Legion's old foes? No, it's actually one of Ollie's old foes. It seems that Green Arrow didn't just make a backroom deal with Amanda Waller, it turns out he also may have cut a deal with friggin' Parallax, the evil spirit of the Yellow Lantern, who occasionally possesses the body of Oliver Queen's best friend, Hal Jordan, and it seems in this future, Parallax has taken up residency again as the comic comes to a shocking close. And so that was Green Arrow issue number 3, everybody, and I gotta say this issue did everything that I felt the previous issue was lacking, and it really kicks in the turbos, we get a lot of answers to a lot of questions, we get another heartwarming reunion between Ollie and his son Connor, which has been a really long time coming, as well as the seeds beginning to be planted for what could be some real big storylines, not just here in Green Arrow, but maybe across the DC universe. We know at the end of Lazarus Planet, they certainly hinted at there being a big Amanda Waller-centric DC universe event, and I feel like Williamson is using his Green Arrow work here as a jumping off point for that. I love all the future designs for the Green Arrow family. I actually hope Ollie keeps the costume he's wearing right now because it's basically a slicker, more stylized version of his most classic suit. I like that Peacemaker is actually allowed to be a comedy character and an actual real palpable threat in this story. I feel like writers are still trying to figure out what exactly to do with the character since he became a big overnight hit. I'm a little worried about them maybe perhaps retconning Oliver's trip to the island originally. I hope they don't go too far or too hard on that because I feel if they rob it of its simplicity, it's gonna hurt. Overall, though, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one another 8 out of 10. It's good stuff, and I can't wait to see where the story goes from here.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.